Hi guys, this is Tawny and welcome to my first voiceover narration for an art video / one of my first art videos. Yay! And to just really explore with colors and use as many as possible, which I didn't want to do for this. So that was goal number 1, which I think I succeeded because I only used 10 colors. And I would say that's pretty successful for me, and I stuck with a limited palette and everything, and I'll explain a little bit more of that later. The second goal for me was not to do any heavy black line art because I wanted to make this look as light and airy and natural as possible. And then the third goal was just to really try to make a piece that has a story and a full-on just kind of put together thing. So I'll explain the color palette that I used, and I'll explain a little bit about like the outlining goal, but there's not really much to say other than I didn't use any black in the piece, so woohoo. I think, well, actually, scratch that. I used a little bit of a light black pen for her eyelashes later on. Anyway, and then I will explain the kind of story / idea behind this piece, and then depending on how much time is left with the rest of the video and when I get done speaking, you'll just have music, I guess. So color palette, I used B00, B00, and a Prismacolor 93, which I have in my hand right now, which is a true blue color. And so I used those only for her hair, and that's it. And her eyebrows, which I consider to be part of her hair, I guess. So anyway, so I used those for the hair, and then I used the PB93, the Prismacolor 93, for her shirt later on, just to kind of tie things in a little bit more. For her lips and for the flowers that I used later on, I used PB133, which is Prismacolor. I think it's Deco Pink or something. And then R83, the Copic. I don't remember all the names. So I used those two colors for all of the pink in the picture, and that's it. And then for her skin, like I said, I used PB60 for the shadows, and then the lightest color is E00, then it's 000, 00 for shading and blending with the pale blue-gray, and then I used an R01 for her blush just to add a little bit of extra color to her cheeks, and that is literally it. And then any other like random colors that I might use are just me going in with Prismacolor Col-Erase pencils to either crisp up edges or add a little bit more details without necessarily going over the entire piece or anything like that. And so now the story behind this picture was that, you know, I kind of dreamed of a girl with light, bright blue hair, and so I think I achieved that, but basically her hair is the whole feature of this. Although, like, as I was drawing her, she spoke to me and told me that her name is Cherry, and I was like, you know, Tawny, that doesn't make sense. You've got blue hair. Wouldn't your name be Cherry if you had red hair or something? But the story behind that is that her name is Sherry, but her friends call her Cherry because she's super sweet and everything, blah, blah, blah. So that's just her personality. Cherry just fits with her, and she just happens to have blue hair. So that's kind of the whole story with it. I know it probably sounds ridiculous, but that's just kind of what came to me as I was drawing and coloring out this piece. And then that's why at the end you'll see me kind of throw in like a branch of cherry blossom flowers. And the only reason why I ended up doing that was because I didn't really have, the only pink that I had at first was in her lips and then in her earring. And so I felt like it needed more in the piece, and she's also in the corner, so I needed some background imagery, and so I decided a cherry blossom branch kind of highlighting her would be a good way to go about that. Originally, I think my idea was to do like a green foresty tree background with daylight. And I eventually realized that, there's no green anywhere else in the pic, and that doesn't help to my limited color palette. So I decided the cherry blossom branches or branch was a better idea. And then something I want to point out here while the video is on the subject is her hand. I was really proud of how I drew her hand because I'm not great at hands. I feel like a lot of artists tend to struggle with hands. But it wasn't until the day after I drew this that I came back and I realized that I kind of drew it backwards. So where her thumb is where the direction that her thumb is facing, it should actually be her pinky and vice versa. So it's just kind of it's the wrong hand, basically, that is underneath her chin. But I just decided to go with it. I'm still really happy with the picture in its entirety. Really proud of what I did. And who knows, maybe I'll try this again in the future. I do have the sketch. I just would have to go back and basically start all over. Maybe eventually I'll do her with different colored hair too or something. Who knows? But yeah, it was already colored in, and so I didn't want to try to fix it or anything, and I don't have Photoshop, so we're just dealing with what we've got, and what my brain decided to deal me, basically. So that's basically it. I guess I will leave you with some music to tie everything up. Yeah, that's really about it. At the very end, as I'm finishing up the flowers, you'll see that one of my Copics decided to go crazy on me, and it gets like extra juicy, so you'll see the middles of the flower get kind of blobby at the very end. But once again, I was just like, you know what? We're at the end of this piece. I've put in a few great hours towards this, and I'm just gonna run with it. So I did, and that's why I'm still posting it on the internet. So yeah, that's about it. If you want to see more, let me know. If you have suggestions of anything, I've got quite a bit of ideas for future videos and pieces, and I just hope to get better and better every week, or every time that I upload, basically. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video and the songs coming up, I guess. Thanks. Bye!